This is Mark Bell from Super Training Gym. Super Training Gym, the strongest gym in the West. We got some guys in meet prep mode. Couple guys training for Jesse Burdick's Reebok Record Breakers. That will be at CSA Gym in Dublin, California. We got little Smokey going there. We got a bunch of these fat guys preparing for the meet. You're going to see guys getting out their singlets. Guys are getting out the kilo plates. Guys are getting out the Rogue deadlift bar. This is a great bar. I did not get it for free. This is not a fucking commercial. I paid for that shit. It's a great barbell, and I highly recommend it. For those of you that haven't used a deadlift bar before, it's just got a little bit more spring to it. It bends a little bit more, so it allows you to lift a little bit more weight. If you're not used to a deadlift bar, it can be a little bit of a shock to you because the weights kind of oscillate on the outside. They kind of shake up and down as you go to pull on the weight. When guys are preparing for the meet, what we try to do is we try to have people just mimic what they're going to do in the contest a little bit more. So on the bench press, guys will start to pause on the bench. On the deadlift, guys will start to hold their deadlifts at the top and make sure they're locked out all the way. People will start to move more into singles and doubles. A lot of singles will be utilized in training to mimic what we're going to do in the meet. We're just getting more specific. As the meet gets closer, you just keep getting more and more specific towards what you're going to actually do in the contest. Some guys will walk weights out in training when they're using lighter weights. And if they're going to use a monolift, then we just use the monolift as we get closer and closer. Some guys will use knee wraps. But a lot of times in the training, when it's 12 weeks out, they're not going to use knee wraps the entire time. Probably use knee wraps for about 6 weeks. So it really depends on the lifter. It's highly individual, but as the meet gets closer, you're starting to try to figure out what an opening attempt would look like. How much weight are you going to actually start your day with in a competition? If you start too heavy in a powerlifting meet, you're really screwed. For those of you that have not competed before, you can't put the weight back down. You can't go down in weight. You can't use less weight, rather. Whoa, crotch cam. That's stolen material from John Cena, I believe. You can't lower the weight once you selected a weight in competition, so you want to make sure that your opening attempt is something that you can easily handle. When I was a baby and I started in this stupid sport, they used to tell me opening attempt is something you can do for a triple. The second attempt is something that you can double. And the third attempt is whatever it is that you wanted to hit. If you made it to that third attempt, then my coach would say you earn the right to kind of go for whatever you wanted at that point, whatever your kind of goal was for the day. That little Smokey banging out some benches. And again, you're seeing these guys are starting to use pauses and starting to mimic exactly what it is they're doing in the contest. You can see Big Dan there snorting some cocaine before he gets on that bench press. That's an ammonia cap, just something to kind of wake you up and get you fired up. Dan handling a little bit over 400 pounds right there. Dan, his knee was pretty banged up in the training cycle for a little while. Then he had a little bit of a pec issue going on, but he was able to kind of hang in there. Basically, just take a week off of training, maybe a week and a half or so, and he was able to come back right into the mix. And just the other day, he squatted 700 for 5 reps, and he looks prepped and ready to go for the meet. Pig has been training really hard. We call him Pig. His last name's Pekulski. He's been training really hard for the meet. I believe he's competing at 181 pounds. Really strong lifter. You see Fat Marcus there throwing on some elbow sleeves, trying to cheat. Speaking of cheating, Silent Mike is taking it one step too far. He's got that slanger on, and he's handling. I think on this day he was handling about 365. Mike is dropping some weight, and whenever you're losing weight, it's hard to keep that strength up. And so something like a slingshot can be great when you're dropping weight, just because it's going to allow you to handle a little bit more weight than you normally would. And a lot of times when you're dropping weight, your strength starts to go down. So you still want to hang with the big boys and you still want to handle the big boy weights, and the slingshot is something that will allow you to do that. Also helps you to keep better form, keeps the elbows in close to the body, allows you to handle more reps, more sets. You get to do more overall volume in your training. Here's the bench press bros hanging out. Marcus, aka Filipino Thunder, and our boy Thurman Merman. These guys have been going back and forth on the bench press for the last several months, really. And from one week to the next, one guy's got the upper hand on the other, and they kind of have gone back and forth in training. And then kind of this last week, they both hit a big 475 bench. Here they are with 455. And you know, the last training day that they did, they both looked very strong. They both looked very capable of going up over 500 pounds, which I'm super excited to see, because they both been working their ass off for it. Here's Marcus going with the slingshot. He's got 475 pounds on there. It's not uncommon for us just to throw a slingshot on for the last 2 or 3 sets of a workout. Again, just allowing you to handle more poundage, how it handles some more weight, more overall volume to your workout. For myself, I've always liked to add it in as something where I do double the amount of reps that I did for my first set or my first few sets. So if I did 3 sets of 3, I'll then add the slingshot and do 3 sets of 6, or I'll just continue onward and continue with the rep scheme and do another 3 sets of 3. So a lot of different ways to use it. You can use it for higher reps, lower reps. Here's Thurman Merman going with 5 plates. Good strong double right there. Strength is never a weakness, and that is it from Super Training Gym. Later.